On the news, NCDC records 39 cases of Mpox, issues health advisory. President Tinubu launches initiatives to expand healthcare facilities nationwide. And Nigerian government threatens to withdraw oil marketers' licenses over hoarding of petrol. Thank you for joining us on News. I'm Sibisola Hadigun. As concerns mount over the outbreak of Mpox virus disease across the globe, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has said that 39 cases have already been reported in the country. A statement signed by the Director General of the NCDC, Jide Idris, reveals the alarming increase in Nigeria is linked to a new strain of the Mpox virus which emerged in eastern Congo and has since been detected in Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda. In response, the center says it has issued a health advisory to help halt further spread of the disease. The NCDC also says that it has notified all public and private hospitals about the Mpox alert, sending out a list of referral, isolation and treatment centers across the 6 geopolitical zones and reference, providing more updates on the ongoing outbreaks of cholera, Mpox and other events of public health importance. The NCDC further revealed that the country has recorded a total of 5,951 suspected cases of cholera with 178 deaths. Meanwhile, the NCDC says it has been closely monitoring several endemic diseases, including Mpox, which has been declared a public health emergency of international/continental concern by both the WHO and the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Earlier, I spoke with health expert Dr. Njemande and asked him what factors he thinks are responsible for the alarming spread of Mpox in Nigeria.
Disease spread has several reasons, several contributing factors. We are constantly, so that means to create areas of living, we have to go into vegetation. In countries like Congo, it's a very big country with a lot of mining areas and covered by vegetation. And of course, animals live there. So these are zoonotic diseases. When you encroach in the animal environment, you will also get animal disease. So that's very simply the observation from time. So it's not really out of place that we should have some resurgence of these diseases when we encroach in the animal space. So in an endemic area like Nigeria, Congo, both West and Central Africa, these are endemic areas for monkeypox. So we know that this disease can occur. Now, the mutations that occur are natural processes. Most of the time, the viruses mutate. Some strains are more transmissive than the other strains. So in this case, we might be faced with a more transmissive variant of the virus.
Now, at this point, what measures do you recommend that both federal and state governments implement to curb the spread of Mpox in Nigeria?
Yeah, the urgent measures we should take is, as I said, is public awareness. So we have to start teaching our people on case detection. The best people to do this are the mothers and fathers and the relations at home. When you notice that the child is having fever, headache, and rashes, this is what you do. So the pamphlets with pictures of these patients placed in public areas is very, very important. The road transport unions, among them, you put these pictures on their vehicles, and then make sure that the society is sensitized in the churches, in the village meetings, in gatherings, that look at this. If you should find someone in your community community, in your village, in your compound, who has these symptoms. Now, this means that the person might have monkeypox. So you take the person to the hospital. So this sensitization and awareness is helpful for case detection and, of course, isolation that will make sure that this disease, which is spread by contact, just contact with the next person, would actually prevent the spread of this disease. So if we can use general awareness and public education through the press, through television and radio, and also the print media, we could do a lot to curb this disease. The triad or the three symptoms that stick out easily: the person is having fever, is having headache, is having rashes. So if you see such a person, you might have to limit contact. If you see that the person has body fluids, things coming out of the body or the skin, so you have to avoid contact. If it's your child or a relation, you might do well buying gloves to take the person from one place to the other, to clean the person. So by just that contact, in other societies where this disease has spread by sexual contact, men having sex with men, that's a different thing altogether. We don't really have that in Nigeria. But here is basically disease in children, and then the contact is basically for those who are taking care of them.
Still on health, as part of efforts to enhance healthcare delivery and workforce capabilities across Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has launched 2 healthcare initiatives: the NSIA Healthcare Retraining Program for 120,000 frontline health workers. The NSIA Healthcare Expansion Program aims to establish 10 specialized healthcare facilities in Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, focusing on oncology and diagnostics, while the retraining program for 120,000 health workers will address gaps in healthcare service delivery and improve professional skills. Speaking at the launch of the initiatives on Friday in Bauchi State, President Tinubu, represented by the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, said the new project will complement the ongoing expansion of cancer infrastructure and equipment in 6 federal teaching hospitals. According to Tinubu, these initiatives will improve the health and social well-being of Nigerians, drive economic development, position Nigeria as a healthcare hub within Africa, and reverse the trend of outbound medical tourism. Following the unabated scarcity of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, in Abuja, Niger State, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and many other states, the federal government, through its Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, has threatened to withdraw licenses of oil marketers found guilty of hoarding the commodity. This warning was handed down by the Executive Director of Distribution Systems, Storage and Retailing Infrastructure at the Regulatory Authority, Ogbugo Ukoha, during an inspection tour in Abuja. He also warned retail petrol stations against the sale of products to black marketers who dispense them in jerry cans, saying such actions pose serious safety concerns and should be discontinued. The National Peace Committee has presented the 2023 General Elections Report, where it recommends a whole society approach and changing socio-economic conditions by the government in power as a way forward. Present at the MPC Secretariat in Abuja, where the report was presented, were the chairman of the MPC and former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, the convener of the MPC and Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, and other members. In the executive summary of the report, the NPC says in 2023, the situation before, during, and after the elections were similar to previous years, but much more profound. The head of the MPC Secretariat, Reverend Father Atta Barkindo, said lack of compliance with policies and guidelines and legal framework, issues of trust deficit, citizens' limited political awareness, technological challenges, poverty, and dispossession impacted on the credible process of the elections.
Indeed, there are lots of malpractices during election. This we discussed in with the chairman of INEC, and we are going to take it up with the security agencies whose responsibility is really to arrest and prosecute these offenders. So far, I think some of those who were arrested during the last elections have been prosecuted, and I think I can't give you the number so far that have been prosecuted. But the rate of prosecution in the courts has not really been optimal. So we are going to take that up with the security agencies to ensure that offenders or malpractice offenders for the elections are really brought to book so that it can serve as a deterrent.
The Peace Committee provided certain recommendations that both INEC and election management bodies should take very seriously going forward. One is the issue of whole society approach. So all of us must be involved in the process to provide free, fair, and credible elections. There should be certain responsibilities for the government in power, particularly, changing social economic conditions to make people to be committed to the electoral process. And for the election management body, there are issues where they have to comply with certain guidelines that have been set, in place. And the changing political party culture of our country, where political parties are called upon, to just comply with their own constitutions, their own policies, and their own guidelines. And finally, for the National Peace Committee, the members, remain committed and very passionate about the Nigerian project. And they want to fully assure Nigerians that they will do everything possible to contribute to free, fair, inclusive, and credible elections.
In Lagos, the Agboiketu Local Council Development Area of the state came alive on Friday as Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu inaugurated a twin housing project in the council. The governor formally commissioned 170 units Raymond Estate and Sterling Heights delivered by the council chairman Dele Oshinowo to regenerate and urbanize Ajelogo, a notorious slum situated in the heart of the council known for its high crime rate. While unveiling the project, Governor Sanwo-Olu described the schemes as an affirmation of the autonomy enjoyed by local government areas in Lagos, saying that Agboiketu Council chairman had shown accountability in driving governance and development at the grassroots level.
Today is 170 flats. And I say that there is no better job for me than to continue to encourage and commend my local government chairman and LCDA chairman for doing a good job. And so, on behalf of the people and government of Lagos, I want to publicly thank Mayor, we call him Mayor, but he's Mayor of Agboiketu, Mr. Oshinowo, for showing us that there is proper and there is true public accountability. And he has shown over time that Agboiketu, Ajilogun, Akanimodo can be a small banana island by look, by feel, by finishing, and by aesthetics. So you don't have the pressure of wanting to be an islander when you have nice, beautiful places of dwelling that are on the mainland here as well. The conversation here is for us to see that even before we talk about local government autonomy, our president, who was our governor before, had set the platform, he had set the foundation to ensure that successive government in Lagos continue to transparently run our local government autonomously.
This initiative not only showcases Agboiketu LCD, but also aims to boost our internally generated revenue. Furthermore, our administration places great emphasis on infrastructure development as a means to enhance human capital and stimulate economic growth. the construction activities have generated numerous direct and indirect employment opportunities, particularly benefiting the youth and artisans in our community.
The Nigeria Customs Service says it has intercepted, expired and controlled pharmaceutical products with a duty-paid value of 1.8 billion naira illegally imported into Lagos port. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, who disclosed this while unveiling the seizures to newsmen during a press briefing in Lagos, said that the illicit drugs comprises tramadol, codeine and other pharmaceuticals without registration numbers from regulatory authorities. He disclosed that some of the seized drugs were imported without undergoing the necessary regulatory requirements, such as obtaining a National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) number.
I am here to present seizures made by APAPA Command. We have seen a couple of them. They comprise of expired and controlled pharmaceutical products with a total duty paid value of 1.8 billion naira. Let me explain that these items, if they are allowed to exit the ports, would undermine the security of our dear nation by influencing the behavior of individuals involved in criminal activities often fueled by illicit drugs such as tramadol. Apart from being expired, some of the drugs that we have seen today were imported without undergoing the necessary regulatory requirements, such as the NAFDAC number. We also have containers that were seized largely due to false declarations, ostensibly to evade customs duty payments. And this is tantamount to smuggling. In total, we have seen 12 containers today that have been seized. All these containers were imported in flagrant violation of Section 233 of the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023. And let me give some details of each of these containers. One of them, a 40-footer, when subjected to examination, it was found to contain health immune supplements that has expired. And there are lots of other tablets, other active ingredients inside the containers, which are all been expired.
It's time for a short break, but still to come, nearly a dozen inmates killed on Friday in Haiti prison break. Stay with us for details.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Back here's a recap of our top stories. As concerns mount over the outbreak of Mpox virus across the globe, The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention says 39 cases have already been reported in the country. A statement signed by the Director General of the NCDC, Jide Idris, reveals the alarming increase in Nigeria is linked to a new strain of the Mpox virus, which emerged in eastern Congo and has since been detected in Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda. In response, the center says it has issued a health advisory to help hold further spread of the disease. We also informed you that as part of efforts to enhance healthcare delivery and workforce capabilities across Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has launched 2 healthcare initiatives, the NSIA Healthcare Expansion Program and a comprehensive retraining program for 120,000 frontline health workers. The NSIA Healthcare Expansion Program aims to establish 10 specialized healthcare facilities in Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, focusing on oncology and diagnostics, while the retraining program for 120,000 health workers would address gaps in healthcare service delivery and improve professional skills. In case you missed any of our news bulletins, or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. On business, the federal government has approved a proposal to transfer 2.5 billion naira from the Bank of Industry to the Solid Minerals Development Fund to facilitate funding access for indigenous miners by providing more favorable terms. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, disclosed this on Friday during a 3-hour meeting with stakeholders in the mining sector to discuss recent happenings, including the recent hike in license fees and its effects. He added the government has also reached a consensus supporting the review of mining license rates. As reactions still trail the decline in the nation's inflation rate, economists believe it is quite early to conclude it is attributable to the tightening of the nation's monetary policy rates implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to curb inflation. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, inflation rate eased for the first time in 19 months, declining to 33.40% in July 2024, below the 34.19% reported in June 2024. Speaking exclusively on the station's flagship program, Deji 360, top economist Segun Sokwiton says close monitoring in the following months will determine the factors and pattern of the nation's inflation rate.
I wouldn't say necessarily that this has to do with the tightening stance of the CBN over the last, almost for as long as you can remember. You know, the last 6 or 7 MPC meetings, they've been tightening. And if you look at money supply, you'll find that in spite of the tightening, and this is instructive and significant, in spite of the tightening measures of the CBN, money supply has continued to grow. As of July, which is last month, we actually crossed the 100 trillion naira mark coming from the CBN website. So, you know, 101 trillion money supply in spite of the tightening. A month before that, we were 96 trillion, or 96 or 97 thereabouts. You know, we had gotten down to somewhere around 93 trillion, you know, a few months ago. So the tightening measures may not necessarily be achieving the results that the CBN is seeking to achieve. You know, don't forget that primarily, the primary response that you expect from the NPR, shift in the NPR rate, is the impact it has on money supply and maybe lending rates and curbing borrowing credit, activities within the economy. So I don't think we can attribute this yet.
On the foreign scene, a prison break in central Haiti on Friday has resulted in the deaths of at least 11 inmates, according to authorities. The third such incident this year amid a continuing humanitarian crisis fueled by gang violence. Police say inmates broke out of a prison in the coastal city of Saint-Marc, about 88 kilometers north of the capital Port-au-Prince, on Friday. The spokesman for the Haiti's National Police, Michael Angelo Jeune, says the situation is under control, but the results are catastrophic. And on sports, English Premier League lovers and supporters across the globe are buzzing with excitement as a matchup between Manchester United and Fulham have shown it will be a thrilling season when both teams open the competition with fierce clashes on Friday at Old Trafford. Football fans in Nigeria say the EPL is enjoying the accolade it deserves because of the numerous sponsorship and television rights it is getting from the government and the private investors. They also attribute the excitement to the quality of the game. They implore the Nigerian government to emulate the methods adopted by the EPL system as a guide to improve viewership for the Nigerian Professional Football League.
The only thing that unites all the whole tribe in Nigeria is football. That's why I like it. Both Hausa, Igbo and Yoruba. Once it's penmanship, there's no tribalism. Everybody will just come from this club. You see Igbo man supporting Chelsea, Yoruba man supporting Chelsea, Mayu and Yoruba, they love each other because of the football. This is the only thing that unites Nigeria.
We don't have sponsorship for our own league. Sure, you understand? Unlike the Premiership, there's sponsorship everywhere. Like all this Sprint, 360, and all that, they sponsor them. But in our own league, we don't have sponsorship that can sponsor our league. That is why you see them going down every day. But at this time, they are pitch, and how they televise it is very bad. You understand? So that's one of the problems we are facing. If they can show it maybe free to air, that people can watch, then people will be more excited to watch it, and they will be giving them. They are showing 3 shooting stars and Julius Berger today. They want to watch it. Unlike a South Africa league, they are free to air. So let them be given free to air. Then from then, people will be having more interest to watch the league.
That wraps up our bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.